Welcome to a new episode of Successful Thinking. I'm your host, Christie Taylor, and our special guest today is creative entrepreneur Chad Rhodes. And let me tell you, he's going to be here in the space as a creative entrepreneur for two things. Number one, he's a playwright and producer, and he's also a party man. And you'll know what I mean when we get deep into the interview. But first of all, thank you, Chad, for being here on Successful Thinking.
Thank you for having me, Christy. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Now, I want to dig down into your successful thinking, your mindset. From this perspective, what made you decide to get into the entrepreneurial space?
Oh my goodness! Before the pandemic happened, I started a janitorial service, and I got all of my experience through hotels. I was in hotels, hospitality for over 20 years, so mainly front office and housekeeping. So I learned a tremendous amount for free. You know, it all came to me. So floors, stripping and waxing, I was great at it. So I decided to go on my own and do a little part-time entrepreneur work with that. Pandemic happened, and then I was laid off. Ooh. And it was like I had no choice after that. It was time to business slowed down a little bit, but the entrepreneurial mindset really started kicking in. Like, I can't depend on these 9 to 5 because everybody is looking out for themselves. So of course they're going to lay everybody out because they're not making money. So I really started pushing it then, and it actually started going very well. And I just wanted to create more, and that's where we started the party bus.
Okay. We're going to get to the party bus. Right. So you had over 20 years in hospitality.
Yes, ma'am.
So that means that you have been able to be what we call in tourism. You understand the importance of showing Memphis off. What are some of your thoughts about how Memphis has changed and the way you see it now, which is going to lead to what you're doing creatively as an entrepreneur?
I mean, you can definitely see the pandemic has done a lot with Memphis changing. Entrepreneurs are pretty much popping up everywhere if you look at it. People are not satisfied the way things are going with jobs, I guess, with how much they're being paid. So you see a lot of jobs looking for workers just because of that, because people have found out, okay, let me create my own lane. Let me create my own table, and I sit at my own table and see how it works.
I agree with that. 2020 really was a year of reset and pivoting.
It was.
And there were so many people who even had been already exhausted in their jobs,
mm-hmm.
who had the opportunity to go back, but they're like the freedom. And I think even learning new ways to make money when you were at home, even this show, doing things virtually, really changed the dynamic of how people do business, how we consume information, and how we make money.
Absolutely.
How we make money. Now, one of the things I want to say, as just kind of stress the fact that while you were in hospitality and hotels and that was your career, you still had an opportunity to still be a creative. Let's talk about your creative journey, whether you were in a music, film, plays. Just give me the whole 411 on that.
Start from a little child. I was singing in church, so that's where, I hate to say entertaining start, but that's where I started, like the stage presence. Sang in church as a child. I started acting well into my adulthood. I started acting in 2014 in a small church in Little Rock. Gloria Worthy was a young lady that seen me out singing, and she asked me, did I want to audition for her play? So that's where I caught the bug. I got the part. And I got the leading role. It had some singing in it, and that was it. It just kind of went crazy from there. And I was in a few plays after that. Creating my own play came in 2019. I went through some things in my personal life, and that's FriEnemies is probably 70% real. It's true life. It's some things that I went through. And for me to get through it and keep my right mind, I wrote down everything. And I was telling people the story. They was like, ooh, you need to write that. You need to make that a play or a movie or something. I was like, really? So, of course, while I was going through it, it was like, ugh. I was battling. And it wasn't funny then, of course. I was going through. But I I would go home every night. I was bartending at the time. I would get off at like 4 o'clock in the morning. I would start writing when I get home till the sun came up. So that's where my writing started. It was around 2019, right before the pandemic.
Wow. So Frenemy is based on 70% is based on your life experiences.
Correct.
Give us the concept of the synopsis of the play.
Okay.
For Frenemy, and of course we know we're going to be promoting Frenemy Reloaded. But give me the premise of Frenemy.
Frenemy is about 5 friends that have pretty much grew up together, 20, 30 years of knowing each other. And as you know, men, sometimes we have things that will deter us from being friends, money, women, things like that. So they're going through their journey in life together, and a serious matter comes up, a child comes up, and without me saying too much, the child could be one of the other friends instead of the main character, which we think.
I understand. Okay, reading between all those lines.
Yes, and it goes really deep into the character. Each character has a part in the play where you kind of dive into their lives. So that's what makes it kind of different from any other plays. You get to know the character and what they're going through in each part of the play.
Now, of course, I know most of your training as far as plays was being a performer, and
Correct.
You mentioned Little Rock. So Little Rock to Memphis, give me the connection between those two. How did you end up?
Working in hotels took me to Little Rock. I started off at the Peabody here in Memphis, 2001, so many years ago, and I started loving it. Working with people, working with the guests and everything, and I started getting promoted. And then the opportunity came up in Little Rock. They had Peabody in Little Rock at the time. They had probably just built it, maybe 2 or 3 years before that. And then I moved down there as assistant director of housekeeping. And that was probably my 6th, 7th year in hospitality. I spent 3 years in Little Rock. Little Rock's a little slower than Memphis, so I was homesick a lot. So I would drive home every couple few days, try to get that good home cooking and get their family in me. But yeah, that's what took me to Little Rock, and then Little Rock to New Orleans actually after that.
Oh wow! Okay. Yeah, well, what was the impact of New Orleans? Because that's a culture to itself on your creativity and on what you're doing now as far as a playwright.
Absolutely. I mean, I base my writing off of a lot of my past experience. So I've met a lot of friends. I would call them family now. Like you said, the culture in New Orleans is like no other. I was there about a little over a year working at the Roosevelt, Waldorf Astoria, really nice hotel in the middle of downtown. So I was there, came back because of my son. My children are here. So that's what brought me back to Memphis. I loved every bit of it, and I go to New Orleans as much as I can now because I think they had a lot to do with my creativity because you look around and it's everything that you need.
Yeah, the music, the art. I mean, the lyrical approach, just the language.
Yes.
I mean, just the air that you breathe in New Orleans is creativity, and of course, Memphis also. I oftentimes talk about. Wherever you live, if you come to Memphis, your creativity is going to go to another level as well.
True.
So coming back home to Memphis, and as you say, by 2019, going through some life experiences and then beginning to, put pen to paper. What were some of the things that you decided to really focus on beyond the page that made you say, okay, I'm going to put this on the stage? Because it's one thing, some people write, but they don't produce. So give me the thought process behind actually staging your own work.
I was really motivated. I was through family, friends. I have some really good friends that are playwrights right now. I was motivated by them, and I don't mind telling them. Steve Brown, Princeton James Eccles. He's great. They're both great. So I was looking at both of them before I even started writing. So once I was going through my issues and everything, like I said, that was my motivation. I was like, I wanted to do my own thing anyway, but it's kind of pushed me. And I was, like I said, again, I just going through a lot. I was actually homeless at the time when I was writing this play. I was living with my friend. I was living with my friend on his couch in a 1-bedroom apartment. So I wrote the whole play at his apartment on his balcony. He has a little balcony. So I would get home about 4 o'clock in the morning, and I would sit out on the balcony till about 10, 11 o'clock till the sun starts rising, and go from there. Yeah.
You know something, Chad, just that experience alone, I'm so looking forward to finding out what happens. But when did you actually stage Frenemy, and what has prompted you to do Frenemy Reloaded?
The crazy thing, we were supposed to do it right before the pandemic hit. I was done writing it at the end of 2019, beginning of 2020, and we were supposed to debut it March 28th of 2020.
Wow.
2 weeks before the play, I get an email. I missed the email after a day or two. And I look at my emails like, well, we're going to have postponed the play maybe till April or maybe till middle of the summer. And then 3 months turned into...
Where theater were you going to stage it initially?
At the Buckman Performing Arts Theater.
Okay. Yes.
And we actually did it the first time there.
Okay.
We did it the first time in July of 2021. It was the first time, sold out, and it was awesome. I can't, probably one of my best times of my life, other than my children being born.
Wow, that's powerful. So, Chad, as a creative entrepreneur, and I really like to stress that creative entrepreneurs are business people too, because you're having to put together a team, casting, which is basically hiring people to do work for you, and you have to deal with budgeting and all the things that it takes to be successful in business. Kind of share with us some of the approaches that you had putting on this play as a first-time playwright and producer.
It is not easy. Let me tell you right now. I don't know what I was thinking when I first started, but a lot of the money is coming out of your pocket until you start building relationships. So you working your butt off to make things happen, because everybody needs to get paid. Everybody that touches your product has to get paid, from the stagehands to the actors to the sound man to the light person to the venue that you're going to have it at. Everybody needs their money. So it's really important to build relationships. My whole thing, especially since the pandemic, relationships are the biggest thing. If you have good relationship with people, they'll go 100 miles out the way for you. And I've learned that over the last 2 years and I have a team right now that I feel like would go to the ends of earth with me. And that's why we've been successful so far.
I'm so glad you said that. Successful thinking. So in your successful thinking process is team building and relationship building.
Absolutely.
So that's like your secret sauce.
Oh yeah. I'll tell people, don't burn your bridges, because you just never know. You just never know. You have to rely on people, and it hurts sometimes. That me being my first play, of course, my budget wasn't huge. So a lot of things I reached out to people like, can you do this for me? Maybe we could swap some things out. But if you have those relationships, people will go that extra mile for you and without hesitation.
Wow. So relationship building is your secret sauce to success. And I know, as you said, that you had a chance. You wrote it in 2019, had plans to stage it the first time at the Buckman March 28th. I mean, literally right when the world shut down. And it takes you to get to 2021 before you can actually stage it and it sells out.
Yes.
How was the profit margin? Because we're talking that this is a business-centric show. Is it profitable to be a playwright and producer?
You have to go through the fire. I don't think just because you got sold out shows, just because, again, people have to get paid. So I profited, not hugely. I profited a little bit, but as I go on, I can see the increase. And that's my thing, just trying to stay consistent. So don't go into stage plays or producing stage plays thinking that you're going to be the Tyler Perry and right away. It's not going to happen. It's all about consistency and what you're putting out there. Can the people relate to it? So you got to put the butts in the seats. So
that's something with Chad, I got to applaud you that you were profitable your first play.
Yeah. A little. I mean, it wasn't a lot, but definitely made more than I spent.
So many people go in debt doing intellectual properties, whether it's a play, a record, a movie,
Right.
because they're not doing the right accounting
Mm-hmm.
throughout the creative process.
Absolutely.
What are some of the things that you did to make sure that you at least broke even? Because even breaking even on the first time out is a win, and if you
It
take a
is.
dollar past that, so what was your mindset in at least having the business in order to break even?
I mean, you do it. I do it. It's because of my passion, of course. I've never done it for the money, but of course, you got to budget yourself. You got to know what you want to do, how big you want to make it, because there's some places here in Memphis you can do a little bigger or you can go a little smaller. So I pretty much kind of believed in myself. I gambled on myself at this time. Again, the budget part is really important. Just know what you have and what you need. And God came in a lot of those times where I thought, hey, I need this extra little amount so I can pay this guy to come in. And sometimes I just have to say, thank you, Lord, because sometimes I don't know where that money came from. It's like something will pop up, or like I would get a job, a cleaning job.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, great. Okay, this is a $2,000 cleaning job. Great. I'm going to throw everything I had was going towards my production. So,
I'm glad you brought it up, Chad.
Very important. Write your budget down.
Write your budget down. Also,
Yes.
don't be afraid to use your primary income or source of income to invest in your other entrepreneurial ventures, even if it's a creative one. That is extremely important. But of course, I know we are now, let me go over here, and we're going to be talking about the fact that you're going to reload it. So let's talk about this. A year later, literally almost a year later, you're going back to the stage.
Yes, ma'am. We call it Reloaded because we added some things, took away some things, and the Reloaded show, we actually did the Reloaded show, and we had so many people asking us to do an encore of the encore that we decided to do it again here in Memphis, Tennessee. The plan is definitely taking it on the road to some closer cities like Atlanta, Little Rock, St. Louis, Nashville, those things like that. So
or New Orleans.
New Orleans, don't play, right? Love New Orleans. So the success of this show really is going to push us to a better platform, I believe.
Now, I noted that, okay, so FriEnemies, you had it at the Buckman in 2021, is that correct?
I did, yes.
Okay, I note now, and just for those who are going to be watching this, that you're going to have the reloaded version June the 17th, 2022 at 7 p.m. at a Black-owned event center.
Yes. Yes, and I love it. They have a nice stage. It's a beautiful event center. It's not your traditional theater. However, we're going to make it where everybody will have a good seat. Everybody will be able to see. We'll have VIP tables right at the front of the stage. So, Miss Taylor, I've already invited you. You have 2 tickets VIP right front.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you.
My pleasure. So yeah, working with theaters here in Memphis, it can be very pricey because the last theater we did it at was Theater Works, and I love Theater Works. That's where we did it. The last show we did 4 shows. Tremendous crowd participation. It was great. Loved every minute of it. 4 shows back to back, and they allowed us to be there for like the whole week. We paid for the whole week. We were able to do our
rehearsals, casting,
rehearsals. Correct. So, we did all our rehearsals and everything there.
So, Chad, one of the things that I'm thinking as you're talking, as you have moved into this space, because you already were an entrepreneur, 2020 really pushed you out there because you already had a business on the side when you still had your main business. The pandemic pushes you further, and you're literally using money from your side hustle that's now your main gig to finance your creative entrepreneur. I'm just seeing how you're snowballing this and learning how to make a profit by selecting the right venues, doing the right marketing.
Right.
And I like the fact that you're paying people. Because oftentimes people who are in this entrepreneurial space, they like try to get everything at a barter, but you're indicating bartering is a part of it. Also, possibly making different relationships, but also making sure that you have as they say, you have an expense.
Right, expense. There you go. The biggest expense. The biggest expense, honestly, is usually the actors, because you want to make sure that your actors are happy. You want to make sure that they're taken care of. You want to make sure that they're fed. If you can give them that paid, if you can give them that, they're going to give you their best. on that stage. If they're happy and they're giving you the attitudes, and what's really important to me in my productions is that we are a family, so we have to get along. It's going to show on the stage if we don't.
Yes, it is.
I know you think you're a great actor, but if you don't like me and we have a serious role together, I'm gonna be able to tell. Yeah, you don't really. You're not.
The audience will know. The audience will
know.
Audience will know that the chemistry is not there. Now, Chad, I know I have to give a shout out to also your marketing, because one of the things you're doing right now is your marketing, even as you're on the show with FriEnemies, your T-shirt, your merch. Let's talk about that element too, because I love that play on Friends with FriEnemies. Tell me about that.
So I got the idea, of course, from the show Friends. It just, when you think of FriEnemy, you think of it's two words in one. You got friend and you have friend enemy at the end, and I capitalized the E for enemy because the friend that you thought was a friend was more of your enemy at the whole time. I saw a quote the other day: "Your haters are from a mile away. They hate you from a distance." Yeah. But the people that are jealous of you, or the people that are closer to you, they know you. They can actually hurt you more than a stranger, because I know everything about you already. You've already told me all your secrets. I know everything. You've laid your life on the line, and you told me everything, and I've seen a lot of your life. So if I decide to use that
ammunition, your FriEnemies have ammunition exactly. based upon the friendship. And how have you? In addition to, I want to make sure that we understand that this businessman, Chad Rhodes, is also utilizing merch like I'm doing, Successful Thinking Show, as ways to do marketing, which is a cost-effective way to get the word out, people purchasing it. So it's also going into your coffers to further add to your business cash flow. And I love it. I love it. And also marketing and advertising.
Yes, I have the shirts. We're actually going to be doing tank tops this time. I apologize. We're doing tank tops this time. We may do some hats. I'm not sure yet, but we also do posters. Every show I have each cast member sign posters, and we sell those as well. But that will come with the VIP tables.
All right, VIP.
You'll get a signed poster from me and the whole cast and crew. It's a really dope poster. It's the same poster that I sent you with the guys on it.
Well, let me let them know. This is the poster that's going to be actually signed by the performers. And this is FriEnemies Reloaded. And this is going to take place June 17th, 7 o'clock at Perion's Event Center. And that's on Winchester. And if you're interested, go to Eventbrite and look up FriEnemies Reloaded. Go to Eventbrite, FriEnemies Reloaded, for a chance to attend the stage play. And of course, Pat is not satisfied in having a janitorial hospitality company to also now be a paid playwright and producer. He's also ventured into parties. Let me talk about this new venture that you have is Get on the Bus and Party with the Roof Off. A chance for people to get their party on downtown, midtown Memphis, choosing a weekday tour, a weekend tour, and even private parties. Now, when did you have time? Because we're talking 2019, you're doing a play, you're staging it in 2021, you're doing a new one in 2020. When did you get a party bus with the roof off?
Man, the idea came from a friend, and he got the idea from Nashville. So, Nashville, they're all over Nashville right now.
Yes, okay.
Nobody has tapped into that in Memphis, Tennessee. So until now. So it has been, we've had a lot of great compliments. People see us just riding down the street. I get calls immediately as soon as we're booked and we're riding down through Midtown, downtown. I mean, the interaction with the people that are walking down the street is amazing. So it's just the wind blowing in your hair. It's BYOB. You can bring your own beverages. You can eat on there. Then it's a big bus, so you don't have any restrictions. Like the cycles, you have to sit there and cycle those. No, you can walk up and down the bus as it moves. Of course, you got to be careful, but as it moves, you can dance, have a good time, and it's a 2-hour tour. So, and you could go around all the main parts of downtown and midtown, and people are loving it. It's been like a huge crave.
I'm just wanting to make sure that they understand. They can go to your website right now, which is Even on the screen, the busmemphis.com, and you have the weekend tour and the weekday tour. And let's
Correct.
talk about the prices and just give some ideas of what people have been doing on these buses.
So yeah, they've been partying, I tell you. And it's a different experience. So people, I guess sometimes you'll see them get on the bus and they'll look around like, okay, I've never done this before. This is new. This seems fun. So they'll get on there and we'll give them some instructions, little safety rules on what to expect. Majority of this is just have a good time. But the weekends fill up fast. People want to go Saturdays during the day all the way up to the evening. We pretty much start our tours 2 p.m. and we go all the way up to about 1 o'clock in the morning if you yeah. And of course during the week it's a little bit cheaper because of course you got to work days, school, so we give it a little more of a discount on the weekday, but the same tour. You get the same tour. You go through the same areas of downtown and midtown. We have a television on board. We're actually going to start doing some karaoke during the week on the bus. So it's been tremendous. It's really been enjoying the journey with it.
And can I talk about, as we get to the wrap up for today's Successful Thinking show, you even have a theme song.
I do.
I was jamming this and I was like, wait a minute, is this a theme song?
It is. So let me tell you who did the theme song, who wrote it. My friend, my very good friend, Prince DJ, is the singer on here. He wrote it, got the track, and I just let him go. And it's awesome. Let's get on the bus and party with the roof on. Get on the bus, get on the bus. Let's get on the bus, get on the bus and party with the roof on. We floating through the city with no roof on. The speakers bumping loud, playing our favorite songs. Yeah, TV screens and we got hardcore. So for you to twerk like you never done before. Something you ain't never seen in Memphis. Time before we had to leave the city. We got a new way to turn. What we doing anyway? Here come the bus. It's really catchy.
It's very catchy.
Let's get on the bus and party with the roof on.
And I really like the fact that it really encompasses Memphis, the energy of Memphis with music.
Yes.
And I think that this is going to really set you apart. As of course, there are no buses with a roof off.
There's actually one more. It's actually a friend of mine. He has one. So there's 2 in Memphis.
So now you have 2.
There's actually 2 in Memphis. Yeah, we started pretty much around the same time.
Wow. Well, congratulations to you both. Thank you all for bringing new exciting things. I'm going to have to talk to Tina Tilton. We have the Taylor Tilton Show. We do our podcast every Tuesday at 10, which is a prelude to the Taylor Tilton Hour. Where I do the Christie Taylor Show, and also she does Tina Tilton's The Blend. We're in 6 markets with our shows, but I tell you, we keep saying we want to do something in Memphis where we could get people together and just start having more, community-based stuff. So when I saw this, I was like, wait a minute, we can have a party.
There you go.
In the city.
Doing your interviews in the city. I'm telling you, let me know. We can do that.
Wow, definitely. So any last words we want to make sure, Chad, we provide you. Thank you so much. Let me say this, for being a successful thinking person in Memphis, doing amazing things through all of your businesses. And if someone wants to get in contact with you, whether it's for your primary business, for the creative plays or the party bus, let us know.
Let's start with the party bus. You can go online right now, thebusmemphis.com. It has all my information on there, numbers that you can contact me, email information as well. So if you have any questions about the bus at all, please email us and we will definitely get right back to you. We usually get back to everybody within the hour. So email us if you have anything. We're also on Facebook. It's called The Bus on Facebook. Facebook, you can also reach me on Three Diamonds Productions, my production company. Chad Rhodes Sr. on Facebook, and the creator, Chad the Creator, on Instagram.
Wow. Okay. Well, definitely he's all over the place, y'all. So
all over the place.
A playwright who's a party man. That's why I said he's the party man.
Trying to be the main entertainer. That's all. Just trying to entertain and make people smile.
All right. So Chad the entertainer. I love it. Well, thank you very much. I'm looking forward to FriEnemies Reloaded in June at Perion's Event Center. Also looking to seriously, me and Tina, we got to do a Taylor Tilton party on
absolutely, please.
And also, I appreciate you supporting Successful Thinking Show. And if you're watching this and you're like, how did Chad do this? Well, all he had to do was go to ChristieTaylorConsulting.com/show bookings. Be sure to select Successful Thinking Show. And let me tell you, we are doing some new things when it comes to promoting businesses. And I really want you all to know that I'm here to support whatever you're doing. It's a premium show that I tell you, you can repurpose 1,000 different ways to promote whatever business or venture that you have. So be sure to do that. And I got to make sure I say a shout out to my sponsors, the Podcast Center. Tina Tilton, she is the brand ambassador of the Podcast Center. If you by any chance need to produce a TV show or a podcast, be sure to contact them. They're available on Facebook. Also, you can go to tinatilton.com. And last but not least, got to shout out my girl, Jerry. She does my custom tees. So if you're interested in, let me go this way, Successful Thinking Show. We have tees for you. So go to, once again, to my website. You can get all this. But in the meantime, let's party on the bus. All right. Everybody else, just be sure to follow both of us on all of our social. And if you love the show and you're like, hey, I don't need to necessarily party on the bus because I'm in another part of the world, but you still want to support the show, feel free to also send us a donation to # Radio Girl Media on Cash App. We are now accepting all the love. And thank you all so much for hanging out with us. Once again, booking your interviews, buying your teas, it's all here. Oh, yes. Let me make sure I show all that information right there. Successful Thinking Show, custom tees by Jerry. Also wanting you to know that you can, yes, book your own interview with us. So thank y'all so much for hanging out with us. Anything else? I think I'm done. Yeah,
I just shout out to my team, to the whole Three Diamonds team. I love y'all so much, man. We got some great things coming. Shout out to all my sponsors as well, Steve Brown and Productions, John Ulu. I appreciate you guys, and y'all know who you are. I have that much time. Love you guys.
Oh, you got all the time. You got all the time to show all the love. Thank you all so much for hanging out with us here on another episode of the Successful Thinking Show.